What is up? What is up? What is going on, Gwen? I hear you're down in North Carolina. There's some kind of winter festival.
I am. I'm upstairs overlooking the arena of an equestrian center, and it's a winter festival. They got lots of lights and stuff, and it's actually my view is beautiful.
Nice. That
So
is
it's cool.
awesome. So, what in the world is an equestrian center? Is that like horses
Yeah,
or something?
it
Oh, okay.
is.
I wasn't sure because I knew the equine meat would be horse meat, so I was just kind of curious how those would have interacted. So, not that I've ever had equine for the record, because I think that's illegal in the U.S. But
Yeah, I think so.
yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. But
It
no,
is.
I'm glad you had safe travels. I'm glad you made it there all right, and I'm glad that we were able
Yeah,
to work this out because this isn't a typical podcast. We're not live tonight, which is going to be a pre-recorded, which is
right.
it never gets any less weird for me to do a pre-record because I'm so used to doing it on a certain night. And 2 weeks in a row, we're doing a pre-record because I'm trying to give us a break for the holidays, so we don't have to record on Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve.
Right.
So I think it works out better for just for this particular time of year.
Oh,
But
yeah.
but tonight we have on a great guest. Let me tell you, he's a little bit of a talker, but I love him to death. He's an amazing dude. The first time I got the chance to meet him was earlier on this year, and let me tell you, the guy is as genuine in person as he appears online. Like, I love this dude. He is awesome. So without further ado, let's bring on Mr. Haunted himself, Jimmy Petonito.
Hi.
Hey, fellas.
Jimmy, what's going on, brother?
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on television. Nate, that was the nicest word you could say is genuine.
Well,
I act the same with my grandmother, my mother, my family, you guys at work. I don't have different acts for different people, and I appreciate that.
no, absolutely, man. Like I said, you're one of the most genuine people I've ever met, and you're also one of
Yes,
those
you
people
are.
that like legit. If you talk to this dude, he gives you the information straightforward, and some of it may sound a little bit outlandish to some people, but I promise you, he's not BSing you. He's telling you the facts.
Oh, yeah. I was excited when Nate said that you were coming on the show. I was like, yes.
Thanks, Gwen. You know what thing? I do have some crazy stories, but the thing about it is when some people tell stories, there's no. It's just your word, your word. And what's nice about because I was a little nerd all my life, I documented everything. So I have everything on tape, on videotape, on VHS, on audio. Witnesses with me. So all these stories are. I need to embellish or make up stuff.
Right.
Right. So approximately, Jimmy, if you could tell us about how long have you been in the paranormal field?
Oh, I love this question. I love the people that say, um, I went to a cemetery when I was 11 years old, so I guess I've been investigating for 59 years. Um, Legitimately, uh, 88.
So 1988, a little bit.
I started going to the cemeteries trying to get the little ghostly pictures and stuff. And then in a couple of few years after that, I joined Ed and Lorraine Warren's group.
Right. So a little bit over 30 years, roughly.
37 years.
A lot, yeah. I can't do math
Look,
at
you
this
didn't have
point.
to add the 7 on there and make me feel dumb, Gwen. Okay, I'm not good with simple
But
math.
yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 20 or 30 or 5, whatever.
That's
So,
exactly right.
so the first thing I want to hit on is first and foremost, you're an author and I love your books. I have read, I think, 2 of them. I think you have 3, correct?
Yes,
So I've read 2 of them. Go ahead.
thank you. And
Yes.
I have yours, but I didn't read it yet. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fine. You get to it when you get to it. But so first what I want to talk about is the book Phantom Messages, because the overall concept of this book is astounding to me, and a lot of people don't believe that this kind of form of communication can actually happen, whereas you can receive phone calls sometimes or voicemails that from people that are no longer amongst the living.
Mhm.
I'll give you a little background on that, Nate. I think this is the book you're talking about right here. And this book, if anybody's familiar with Bill Hall, he wrote a book called The Most Haunted House in the World or something. And I had him as a guest on my program years and years ago. And I said, I always, off the air, I said, I always wanted to write a book. And I said, I don't know how to go about it. And I said, I wrote to 3 or 4 different publishers, gave them my idea. And I got stuff back like, we only were interested in regional stories or, haunted Connecticut, haunted New England, haunted whatever. And they weren't interested. So Bill told me it took him 90 something. That shows the how I give up so easily. 90 something publishers he wrote to finally get his book published.
Oh wow!
So I said, "This is the guy I needed to work with."
Right.
So he didn't know me that well apparently at the time. And I told him, I said, "I want to." I said, "Could you help me write a book, or write it for me, whatever?" And I kind of told him, some stories because I don't think that's enough for a book. So it's okay. He knows better than me. So he goes, I kind of have a kind of writer's block right now. I want to do some more stuff, and maybe we could do something together. So we're trying to think of an idea. And somebody wrote on a Facebook. My girlfriend texted me this morning, but she's been dead for 3 years. So that's a kind of interesting subject. So
Right.
I just threw it out there. I have the exact date, I have the screenshot and everything. I said, does anybody have any similar stories to this? And within a week, we had about 50 stories. Oh, my friend has a story, my cousin, whatever. And we started going through those stories, and then it started spreading, and we got some more of the famous ones, luckily too. But yeah, we didn't want people that went into a location and trying to get EVPs, that kind of communication. We wanted unexpected communication through electronics, through computer, email, telephone, that kind of thing.
Right.
Or unexpected,
Gotcha. So it was more along the lines of you guys were looking for something and you saw a post and it sparked an idea, and that idea just kind of came to fruition.
Yeah, and it was a very popular book. I think it was in the 1980s. I have on my shelf somewhere. It was called Phone Calls from the Dead, which was a really popular
Yes.
book. And it was it's kind of like an updated version of that.
Nice. And I think actually the last time I saw you, me and you were discussing the Phone Calls from the Dead book.
I think we were.
Yeah, because I had never heard of it before, and I was looking at that book specifically, and you were like, "Oh, well, you could go back and look at this book as well, because it's similar, but this is not the same thing."
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was definitely interesting. And then you also have your Mr. Haunted Origins book, which I love that book. I'm be honest, I love that book.
This is my life.
So what prompted you to sit down and do that? Was it just you felt like people needed to know your story, or was it more along the lines of a personal thing? You wanted people to know your story.
I don't know if the word selfish or not, but my dad passed away a few years ago, and he was a character, and he had like I said, I tell everybody, like, I don't necessarily care if it's paranormal or about sports, about a hike somebody took. A good story is a good story is a good story.
Yes, it
True.
is.
I like reading. Don't you like anything that's a good story is a good story. So my dad had so many great stories. I mean, I wish that I record. You didn't think to record, especially back then, your dad's stories or write them down, and I wish I had them all. So it's almost selfishly, but yes, I wanted to write stuff down before I started forgetting things. But if my kids or grandkids were like, what was this guy doing all his life? They have it all here. So when I go someday, they might look at that and appreciate it. And it's not like we're not Stephen King. We're not going to get rich off this stuff. But I wrote it so people read it.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I love it. I love that book. That I've already read that one. I have to tell you, it's fantastic.
Thank you. And I write it like I talk. So it sounds like
I need to go and leave you a review on it too. Now that I've read it.
Okay.
I mean, every review helps.
Yeah.
It does.
I am shocked at how many people got the book already, and I appreciate it. And everyone that didn't get it if you want.
You need to. You should.
Thank you.
So
But I will not stop writing now. Never, ever, ever.
No, don't. And don't quit putting your memories down in any kind of way.
Yeah, never do that.
No, record them. Voice
So,
record them. Write them down later.
The third book that I don't believe I have yet. What is the third book? Because I cannot remember the title because I don't have it right in front of me.
Because I became addicted to writing, whether people like it or not, You know what's funny? I'll give a shout out to Charles Roseday, our friend, because he started to help me edit the Origins book, and then it kind of got away a little bit. But I gave him so many stories to look through, and he's like, remember to save some for another book. I said, I don't have enough stories for another book. People don't realize how much you got to write. You got like 60,000 words. It's a
A
lot.
lot.
And you ever write and you think you wrote a whole book, but it's only this big.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
you go saving up for another book. I don't have enough. And before the book even came out, I was already starting another one. And I added a lot of stories from my favorite guests. You asked what the name of it was. It was called Lights Out.
That's it.
Oh
That's it.
yeah.
And that has a really cool origin to that name. Also, there's a significance to that. But I included my own stories again. And my favorite guest stories as host of the Haunted Chronicles. I also have them in here.
Nice. So what is the origin behind the names, if you don't mind telling us?
It's a little weird, but I'm a little weird.
We're weird too, so that's
I'm
okay.
weird. I'm weird.
I
We're
don't know
weird.
about you guys, but I love old time radio. Even not even Art Bell. I mean, going back to the 30s and 40s and 50s. The imagination of what do you call it? That word. Your mind. Pause. I was kidding. The theater of the mind. I enjoy just listening to somebody. You create your own visuals. Listening to a story. We all like stories since we were kids. So I started listening to these old timey radio shows on YouTube, like CBS Mystery Theater.
Mhm.
There's a bunch of them. So you know how YouTube kind of figures out what you like.
Yes.
So it suggested one morning. Remember, I go to work at 3:00 in the morning, so I was up in my basement. Before work, I listened to stuff, and it suggested this program called Lights Out Theater. And I said, that sounds scary. I want to hear that.
Right?
So I'd never heard of it before. Never. It's from the 1930s. It lasted like 20 years or something. So the first notes of I wish I could play it for you, but the first notes of the opening theme, I recognized immediately. Like it was like Twilight Zone stuff. And then the voice comes on and he says, it is later. And I said, then you think. Like I finished his sentence. And I was like, did I know?
You can cuss.
Did I know that? And I'm the first skeptic to say, maybe I heard it when I was 3 years old. My mother was listening to it or something. But still, I got such chills, and I was so proud of myself. I was looking around to see if anybody was around. Like, did anybody witness me do that? He said, the moment's gone now.
Right.
And there's such a I don't know. There's a weird. I was even saying in the thing, is there, like, we talk about past lives. Like, was I around in 1943 listening to this? It was my favorite show. That's why I want to do my own radio program. That's why I want to write books. So I gave Lights Out a shout out for this whole book here. There's more to the story, but that's the basic idea there.
I think that's a very unique way to do that shout out as well. And I don't know if the person who hosted the show is still alive or not, but if he is, I think that's a great homage to him.
His name was Arch Obler.
I've heard that name.
It's I don't know. I was really freaked out when I finished his sentence. So I get a little nod here.
Yeah, you definitely were there to listen to one of those stories. Even it maybe, I don't know. You were there. You were definitely there for that, man.
So
that's cool.
So going on from that, another project that I think was completed quite recently. It's not necessarily an older project. Hostage to the Devil.
It may seem pretty new. Wait, what is over here?
I don't know what's over there. Is it a rabbit?
I got a whole. Okay, back in the olden days, when I was with Ed and Lorraine, our group would meet every Monday night. It's 6 or 7 o'clock, and sometimes it was instructional. Sometimes the best thing ever was they redact a lot of names and details and stuff. They would show us all the original interviews with all these cases, and some of them you never even heard about before, but they're amazing stories. Sometimes we'd have a guest, rarely, but we'd have a guest every once in a while, a guest speaker. And 1 week, Lorraine said, next week we have a guest. His name's Malachi Martin. I didn't know who he was. This is in 94 or something. And I said, I rose my hand. I wasn't shy. I was like, who's Malachi Martin? He says he's an exorcist that also is an author, wrote many books. So like, how cool is that? I never met an exorcist before. So I bought Hostage to the Devil book at the Barnes and Noble that week. So hopefully I could have him autograph it when he got there. I had no idea who this guy was until he. Normally we have maybe 10 to 15 people in our groups, and for some reason the word got out, and it was probably 50 to 75 people in this little room in this hotel. And it came off really bad in my interview. You know, whenever we get interviewed and they chop it up, you're like, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
I was trying to convey the idea that because I'm there every week, and like, you know, some people come at the end of the rain, it's like it's more special to them because they were new. They were coming to see Malachi Martin, but they were new. They're not there every week. So I was saying that since I'm there every week, I sat in the back, not to hog the front.
Right.
It's weird because it came off like anyway. It came out weird. But anyways, when this guy came in, he's a little Irish guy from Ireland, charming little accent. And when he came in, there was people throwing themselves onto the ground like this, you know, like, wow, this guy's way bigger than I imagined. And and just what a great speaker! Like, you didn't take your eyes off him for a second, for an hour and a half. He just spoke, and so towards the end of his talk, people lined up to either shake his hand or get something signed.
Mm-hmm.
So I was at the end of the line, and oh, there's another thing is he was looking at me like kind of weird, like this the whole time. And I had longer hair then. I probably didn't look like, you know, the typical, I didn't look like the type, I guess.
Fair.
And I thought he was judging me. And so when I finally got up to him, and he goes, "Were you sitting in the back row there?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "You were distracting me the whole time." He says, you were throwing off lights. You have a glow that I've never seen on anybody before in my life. He goes, "You're my favorite person in this room. Sit right next to me." Like, holy mackerels. So, and I forgot about that part until I see pictures that I was sitting next to him and had his hand on my shoulder. So then I even asked in later years, I asked his best friend that used to drive him everywhere. I said, does he do that everywhere to make one person feel special? Maybe, he doesn't talk. He picks one person. Because I've never, ever heard him say that to anybody before. So I was like, that's kind of cool. And listen how this came. I think this guy knows stuff. He's not with us anymore, but when he passed away, I was searching Facebook to see maybe he has a fan page or something that I could follow.
Right.
So I could know more about him and follow anything that he did. And if anybody could go to the Art Bell shows, Art Bell did 8 or 9 shows of Malachi Martin, and each one is unbelievable. So I found a fan page for Hostage to the Devil. So I just liked it, and it said it's a documentary. So I messaged whoever owned the page. I said, where can I purchase this documentary? And they said, we want to do a documentary. We don't have it ready yet because we're having a problem finding people that actually met him or worked with him. People aren't answering our emails. I said, well, who are you trying to contact? Lorraine Warren, Ralph Sarchi, John Zappa. I said, well, who are my friends? And I said, I'll message them, whatever. Because I guess they didn't know what angle they were going to take with the documentary because it was controversial. And so I was kind of involved with getting the whole thing going. And then they came over from Ireland. They already finally got a list of people they were going to interview here. They had a whole crew from Ireland come here. And they came to my house. I thought they were just coming to visit because we became friends over the internet there. And then as soon as they got there, I thought it was gonna be one like three people. There were like two big truckloads of people. They started bringing lights in my house, big cameras, and I didn't like that at all. I was like, I'm not that guy. I'm not really not. I'm a ham if
Right.
I put myself on the stage, but if somebody tells me to go up, I'm like, well, then they said sit in this chair. I'm like, what? But I'm really not. I don't want to put myself as one of these people that was his best friend, or I said I met the guy a couple times. He was a what do you call it? What do you call when somebody helps you out there? He was an advisor to our group. He gave us cases, but I said I don't want to put myself up there like I'm his best friend. Like, no,
Right.
you were very important getting this together. It will be important to our story to interview you. So I said, for that reason, okay.
Fair.
Anyways, that they filmed that, and that was like 2017 or 2018. And I thought back then I didn't know what Netflix was. I thought Netflix was one of these stations that when you got nothing else, nowhere else to go, they just throw you on Netflix. I didn't understand. So it was on Netflix for 5 years, and millions of people watched the thing. And the thing is, if he didn't make such a big deal about me that day, that movie might not got made. Because I searched out a page for him that they wanted to honor him by doing a documentary, and me remembering what he said to me. Like, I'm almost wondering if he knew somehow in the future, like, yeah, this kid, he's the only one that's gonna help me get this done.
Maybe he did, and so it's not necessarily as new as I thought it was. It's a little bit older than I thought it was.
Yeah, but also
that's cool though, because you played a monumental part in ensuring that happened. You played a key pivotal role in the contacts that you made, and you helped get it made.
I will accept that.
I think that's great.
And the other thing, we were going to do not a sequel, but a standalone thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, listen, this has been life changing for me. And I'm very uncomfortable with attention when it's put on me. I really am. I'm not good. See, I don't like being on the cameras on me and all that. They said we want you to be the focal point of. It's a standalone, but it's a sequel to Hostage because we could blend you into if you were part of that and do your own. But they want to stay. I said, why? And they said, there's so many people that did more than me that are better speakers or credible, whatever.
You're in a podcast.
We want to show a regular person that goes to work every day that this is what they do on the weekends, whatever. I said, that's a kind of cool angle. I get that. They show you at work what you're doing, and then all of a sudden you're restraining somebody that's getting an exorcism. So they already came over here. And also I wanted to get my friends involved. And I said, all these people that were blurring out in the first one, I said, let's get them, let's get their perspective, interview them. I don't, it's not all for me. I want to get my friends involved. So they came over from Ireland, interviewed a bunch of people. And then they went back. They're going to come back again. It was probably almost half done, and we had a few people that were were going to be the subject of the big exorcism at the end, the big finale, and pandemic, and everything just stopped. And then, they still say we might do something with it, but that would have been life changing for me. Let me tell you.
So, Jimmy, when you are on a TV show or you do something, do you ever go back and just critique yourself?
Holy mackerels. I'm going to critique this later. So
no, you won't. No.
Self-deprecating. The worst one was the hostage to the devil thing. The only time I was ever on TV before that was like in sightings. You're walking with. I was walking with Lorraine, and we're walking through the cemetery that's supposedly haunted,
mm-hmm.
and just walking around taking pictures. So it's not like you're sitting there with the cameras on you. And then the Unsolved Mysteries was also the same thing. There's the cameras all around and watching what you're doing and everything. But it's a lot different when you're sitting there like this, and the camera's right here. I don't like that. And the point is, during the hostage to the devil thing, I got hit by a forklift a
What?
month before. Yeah, well, it's the first time where I work. Had some injuries there, but I didn't. My neck. I had I had 2 surgeries, like 130 physical therapies. And it's like when I look back at it, every time I watch it or somebody puts a clip on, my neck is like this because that's the only way it's comfortable. Like I couldn't put it down more. So it's like every time I look at it, I get mad. But there's a reason for everything.
You can't get mad over something you can't control. If that's the only way your neck is comfortable.
How about this
Yeah.
one, Gwen?
Yes.
During when they finally gave me the what do you call it? When they finally gave me the Hostage to the Devil completed before they released it, they were having me tell the story about the first exorcism that I ever was involved with, and luckily I recorded it, with a camera. And then they had me telling the story over the video. There's a part where I said the girl was gouging her eyes out, and I was trying to help her pull her hands away, but she's biting me, and I'm trying to help her not gouge her own eyes out. But that's the story they were telling, and I messaged him. I said, Marty, I said, no, the gouging eyes. That's a whole nother exorcism. That wasn't that one. He says, creative license, laddie, creative license,
Laddie.
yeah. So yeah, I was like, I just don't like telling. I don't like telling. I like telling the truth. So you don't have to worry about what you said. So that always kind of bothered me. But I understand for the thing, it was. They liked it for the thing. That's why I tell out here that they put it together like that.
And that is always an issue with creative control whenever you're filming something, is they can take your words and they can mix them and chop them in any way that they see fit to make a good story.
It's terrible, awful.
And go ahead.
I know it's stupid. Everybody does this. Even Marty Stalker, who was the director of Hostage, after it came out, I said, "How did you like it?" And he goes, after it comes out, I said, I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have. And it's like, you're always critical afterwards.
That's why I never watch anything I do. Never. All the podcasts, never. I can't stand it.
And I do. I go back and I watch every single podcast that I do the week after it's released, so I can sit here and critique what I'm doing during the show.
I
I've
never
learned a
do.
lot from that. And I've noticed a lot of times, like, I have a bad habit of staring right here because this is where my camera normally is, not thinking about the fact my camera's right here. So it's actually a little, to me, it could be disrespectful to the guest because it makes me feel like I'm not giving them eye contact, if that makes sense.
No.
My eyes are so bad. I don't know where you're looking.
So are your eyes better? Did your surgeries or your treatments work better for you?
Long story short, not all cataracts surgeries are miraculous.
Right.
I wish, if I look back now, I would have never gotten them done. Because the whole purpose of getting that done is so you don't have to wear glasses or contacts anymore. And now I have to wear glasses to do anything.
That's a little bit of, yeah. So basically it didn't go exactly as hoped.
No.
Yeah, that's rough. I know that you'd worked side by side with Evan Lorraine for quite a while, correct?
Yep.
Was there ever an encounter during that time frame that you could talk about that just stuck with you? It resonates with you till this day, that you've just really not been able to forget about?
Not with them personally when they're there, because we went to a lot of cases together. But after a while, you go out on your own and investigate cases for them.
Right.
But the one that was actually the first, like I said, we always went out in groups for years. We go out with, a lot of people say, everything was demonic or,
he doesn't see you, Jimmy.
What?
It's Litriana.
Right. Where's my puppies?
Your puppy. Oh yeah, I took a picture of his favorite puppy, Ginger, and sent it to him earlier.
Ginger's adorable.
She is.
So then we go out in groups. They're not going to just throw you to, because remember, they were the only people doing this. So people said, "Oh my God, they got these such bad. Every case was so bad." I was like, "Yeah, these are the only people doing this. They're not going to go to a house where my rocking chair moved once." Like, oh,
Right.
your kid's on the ceiling speaking Latin. We'll come over, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Jeez.
but and a lot of these you never. That's why I like these books because a lot of those cases you'll never hear about them. You know, just
Right.
and there were some amazing stories. So the first time they ever, you know, I said we went out with groups all the time, and after a while they trust you enough to say, okay, we're going to send you on on your own. So Lorraine called me and Rick and said, hey guys, do you want to go to a house in Waterbury, Connecticut, and check it out? The woman is sitting on her steps crying and won't go back upstairs till somebody comes here. So we're all excited. So this is our first solo case, you know, without, you know, them there. And I was long story short, the woman kept this shows your inexperience too. We set her up in the dining room to record her audio and with the camera. And so before you tell us anything, let's just start from the beginning with your interview, everything, her whole life history up till when did it start and then whatever. So we're getting the whole story because our job is to report back to Ed and Lorraine. Not to do anything. So this woman, while we're talking to her, she just kept pointing. Like, don't you? Her whole thing was she was scared of the shadow figure in the house. She kept pointing all these random directions, and we don't see anything. Don't you see it? She's hysterically crying, and she's frustrated because we don't see it. And after a while, honestly, we didn't believe her. I was like 25, you know. And so she keeps, and we're ready to wrap it up. It's okay, we think we got enough for the story. So she goes, just went into my bedroom. So okay. So me and Rick go and we're in the doorway to the bedroom. And it was like a light. The light was on in the hallway. There was enough light to see it, but it wasn't bright, you know. So then she goes, don't you see it? Don't you see it in the corner? And now we see it. And I always thought, oh my God, this is great. And every house you go to, you get to see a ghost and stuff. And never seen something like this again after that. But it was a figure. She said it's like a shadow outside a wall, just like she said. And so now, remember, we left the dining room area, and our equipment is in the other room. My camcorder and regular camera, and that was a big mistake because I didn't know back then. So
Right.
I didn't believe her. So I said to Rick, I said, should I go back and get the camera? But this is if we get this on video, this would be amazing. But then again, you say, I might never see something like this again. Like, should just take it in and enjoy it. Or that's the word for it, you know. And he goes, let's try to touch it. Oh, and his say it was about 7-8 feet away from us against the far wall. So we took 2 or 3 steps towards it, and the thing turned towards the wall and walked into the wall. And then I ran around the other. I ran around to see if it disappeared into the hallway, like if it actually. But it went into the wall and it didn't come out the other side. Is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a weird thing because yeah, I wish I brought the camera with me.
I always miss the best stuff. I swear, I always miss the best stuff.
But you learn a lesson from that one. But that story right there, guys, I hate self-promotion. But that story is in here, and it's called The Muffin Man. Very scary story. The whole story is right in here.
And brother, don't hate self-promotion, man. That's the whole point of my show is I want you to push your stuff.
I know.
Exactly.
So do not shameful plugs. Do shameful plugs all the time.
Please.
Don't buy this. Don't.
So
Don't buy.
Buy that.
What is-
Buy that.
So what is your opinion as far as aliens and cryptids? Like, what are your thoughts on those?
Let me tell you something, mister. For the last 3 months, I've been writing my new favorite book. It's going to be my new favorite book about cryptids.
Ah.
I'm fascinated by cryptids. I think it's the one thing, you know, it's like most of us that like the ghost stuff and the UFO stuff and the cryptid. We like it all. You know, we like all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I had 4 major UFO experiences in my life. And that was kind of the route I was going. But, you know, it's like, where do you go to hang out with UFO people or find aliens? So went the whole haunted thing route. But as far as the cryptids, that might be one thing in our lifetime that we'll get answers to. You know,
Right.
and I think that's our best chance at learning something still. Because yeah. So my next book is about cryptids, and I did mostly Dogman, and I
Okay.
didn't want to just scour the internet and just look up stuff and just repeat stuff I find. I wanted it to be different. So a friend of mine has a YouTube channel, he just hit 100,000 subscribers.
Nice. Congratulations to him.
Yep, Jeff Dolly. And I had the nerve to ask him a few months ago. I said, Jeff, I want to write a book. I'm going to take a break from the ghost stuff. I said, I want to write about cryptids. It's fascinating me just to research them. I said, I want to give something. I want to make something for people to read.
Right.
So I said, he had 8 years of shows, and a lot of them, not all of them were interviews, but he had a lot of interviews throughout the 8 years with firsthand witnesses of dogmans, crawlers, skinwalkers, elkman,
The elk man.
a lot
Yes.
of crazy things out there. And Goatman, I got a Goatman story on there. So so I asked him, I said, could I go through your channel and write up, and I thought 50 would be a good number, but I don't know how that would work out, but it worked out perfectly. I got 50 stories of firsthand accounts. So all of them have a little bit of history. I made sure they all had a beginning, middle, and end to them. They're not all the same. So he said, yeah. I said, I'll give you 50-50. Like, we'll both get credit for writing the thing. I said, I'll do all the work, and we'll do it like that. So he gave me permission. So that'll be out early next year.
I love that because let me tell you, I love me a good cryptid book. You know, I call myself a paranormal researcher. I don't call myself a paranormal investigator because
Yeah.
I research all aspects of everything unknown.
I like that
And,
title much better also.
Same here. And I love a good cryptid book, but you have to admit, some of them are just so far-fetched, like there's no way they exist. Like the Mapinguari, where it has a stomach, mouth.
Yeah.
That is so weird. Or the Makole Memembe over there in the Congo. There's no way that there's a brontosaur roaming the Congo and we've not seen it.
That story. Okay, remember I was talking about a good story is a good story is a good story.
Yeah.
If anybody's never listened to what's his name? David Cho. Did you ever hear that story?
I believe I've heard a lot of his stuff, but I'm not sure exactly what story you're talking about.
I'll just give enough information so people can look it up. David Cho, he's a graffiti artist that became famous. And he was like 20 years old, hiking across the country, and he heard about a brontosaurus that was still alive in the Congo somewhere. So he goes, well, that's what I want to go see then. With no money, with no other languages that he knew, he got to the Congo, and just his journey from there to is like one of the best stories I've ever heard in my life. It's like an hour long.
No, that is
holy
awesome.
mackerel.
But yeah, it's a fascinating cryptid. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's other ones out there like the Kappa over in Japan, which I think is honestly just a misidentification of a giant Japanese salamander. But like a half turtle with a Friar Tuck haircut. Come on.
I got a good one. This is something that a little sentence that stuck out in my head. Somebody wrote underneath one of the videos, if 10% of what these people are telling are the truth, our world has changed. And I said to my head, no, if 1% of this is true, our world's nothing like we think it is.
Right.
That's true.
I agree.
So I know enough. And it's like a stranger is hard to be credible to you because you just don't know them. It doesn't mean they're lying. But when enough people that I know personally that I've known for years and years, and I know when they're telling me a story, I believe it.
Yeah,
when they
and I can tell you, me personally, I've had 2 encounters with what I believe to be a Bigfoot in Alabama. I can't say it was, but that's what I think it was.
The Alabama white thing.
So there's 2 of them actually. There's the Alabama white thing, but there's also one down there that they call the wood booger, which is almost an orangish color, similar to what you would see in the orang pendek over in Asia.
No. There's definitely stuff. But it's interesting to talk about anyway and speculate and compare the stories, and it's fun.
No, it is.
Have you ever went Sasquatch hunting or Bigfoot hunting or whatever you want to call it? No.
So
He's like, nah.
So being up here in the Northeast, right? One of the most popular cryptids besides the wood devils here in New Hampshire, right? And I'm not even sure if I would consider this more of a cryptid or an elemental style spirit. What are your thoughts on puckwudgies?
I think they're adorable. I don't know. I don't, I really think it's so hard to, like, it's when people categorize, okay, when people categorize hauntings, like, it's like a spectrum. They'll start with, it's the spirit of a relative, or then it goes to, poltergeist. Then there's the possession or whatever. There's like this line that you kind of, people want to put stuff on that line. And it's like all the cryptids, I don't think they all come from the same thing. They don't, they could be interdimensional, they could be alien, they could be underground caves, they could be Native American, like some of those things. It doesn't matter what, it could be anything.
Yeah,
That makes it fun.
I gotta show you this awesome wrapping paper that Morgan made me for my Christmas present she gave me over the weekend.
I gotta put the glasses on for this one.
I like that. She's so talented.
Holy mackerels.
We got a Christmas Bigfoot, and for those of you who don't know, this is a Fresno Nightcrawler.
I have a Fresno Nightcrawler pillow.
That's awesome. So, just a little bit of...
What do you think of the Fresno Nightcrawler?
A little bit of pushing my own stuff here. Actually, the Fresno Nightcrawler video is the next video I'm breaking down. I believe I may have figured it out.
I won't ruin it.
Oh. When is this? Shamelessly push it, Nate.
No,
no, I'm working on getting all the screenshots and stuff right now. So it's still going to be about a few weeks.
Okay.
Because that is like the one creepiest thing that, you know, when you want to fake something, you know, make it look like a monster, like the kid in his little PJs walking around the driveway, they said was an alien. That thing, why would you even, it looks like a tooth walking around.
Yes. It's one of the creepiest things you ever see if you watch the actual, like the original video. Because you're like, the fuck? Literally, that was my initial thought when I first saw it.
How many times did you play it back just to go?
The first time I ever saw it, quite a few. And over the last several weeks, I would say probably 30 times going through my still framing process.
Now, Nate, do you have a channel that we can watch this upcoming video on?
Yeah, it's on my TikTok. It'll be on my TikTok.
What's your name of your TikTok?
Static Voices, but we ain't pushing me, Jimmy. Nice try.
I know. I want to check it out myself.
Nah, he probably does. Yeah, it's Static Voices.
I know Jimmy already follows me on there.
I do too.
But no, it's gonna be fun. So what are your thoughts though before I do my initial video? Because I'm curious on your thoughts on what the night clothes could be.
I don't have your mind that you break stuff down because I want to believe everything. But then on the other hand, how about this one? I'll tell you after this. I always said the way the technology nowadays, it's so much harder to distinguish a fake from a real because the technology, it's only going to get better. Right. Back in the 70s or 80s, if you captured something in the air, like a UFO, it had to actually be there. Like somebody had to throw a hubcap in the air and spin it. Now, like I said, you could create an alien invasion in my backyard and look real. So right. I don't have the mind you do to even to figure out stuff like that. But and not just, I want to think that I want to think Fresno's real.
You know,
I want to think they're real
as well. Because I found out they've not only been cited in Fresno, they've been cited at other places as well. It's just not as well documented. So,
there you go.
So there is a little bit of more intrigue that I'm gonna uncover here. So, but it's a very interesting thought of this creature, considering the fact that at the time frame the original video came out, unless you were professionally trained to do video editing, there's no way you superimpose that. So it's really tricky. It's a tricky one.
Yeah.
I'm ready to watch it now.
Static Voices. Very scary.
Well, I don't know about scary. Maybe my face is scary, but I don't know about the name.
Please.
How much fun are these events I'm very new to these events, and it's the best thing ever. I wish I knew about them earlier in my life. All these events we go to now.
No, I mean, and I love going to these events. I love meeting, all these people, which I had followed Jimmy for years on Facebook before we ever got the chance to meet. And I was so excited when I found out that he was going to be at that event. I'm like, finally get to meet Mr. Haunted. And let me tell you, same exact person in person that I thought he was going to be when I see what he posts online.
He's the same one.
Yeah, he just kind of looked at us like, "Hey, how are you doing?"
Speaking of these events, Jimmy, because just as I do, we get up there and we do public speaking sometimes. Mm-hmm. it is never, or for me at least, it's never any less nerve-wracking to get up there and speak in front of people. Is there something you process through your mind, or a way that you go up there and try and make it to where it's a little bit less nerve-wracking for yourself? Besides doing like I do, I go outside and I chain smoke like 4 cigarettes.
Oh, I do
I
the same
go up
thing.
there and do my
They,
thing.
they usually have to go get me outside to say you're on now. Don't you know?
Thank you.
I had my worst fear ever was not demons, cryptids, aliens. It was public speaking. And in 5th grade, I was shaking so much that I dropped, like I was supposed to demonstrate something. And it was the worst fear ever, ever, ever. And then like we're choosing to do that now. It's like every time is like, am I gonna have a panic attack and just run? Like I think that every time. And the only thing is, the more you do it, the easier it gets, because you can just
Yep.
people will like you for your personality anyway. So as long as you just be genuine and be yourself, and then if you get your first laugh, that's like breaks everything. If you get a laugh out of everybody. But I'm trying to think of like one thing. Oh, you know what? It's nice. See if you agree with me. We've done library talks where there's literally 5 people that show up, and it's heartbreaking. But there's 5 people that show up, and they're strangers, and you see every eye looking at you. It's brutal.
Yeah.
If you get a crowd of a couple hundred people, it's almost like when you're in a band playing at a big giant stadium. You don't see anybody. You're just playing. You don't. When you're looking at 200 people, it's just like a blob. You don't even see the people. It's harder, I think, with smaller places.
I can agree with that. With smaller groups, it is a little bit more difficult because you feel like that pressure's on. You feel like you're a fish in a frying pan.
Yeah, it's terrible. You see every little reaction. You're looking at every. Do they smile? Do they frown? Do they roll their eyes?
And then sometimes you're like, "Oh, I didn't like that reaction," but it's not much you can do.
No, you just have to focus on one person, like a friendly face.
Yeah. Also, that's a very good advice. But for me, it's like just the more I do it, and every year I start off again. I was like, "Oh my god, this is so torture. Why do I do this?" But it's fun. It's fun.
Yep.
Well, I think for me, the funnest part about it is when we go and do these events. You know, the people that we meet.
That's what I'm saying.
I love it.
It is so awesome. Because you got people out there that you probably don't even know you exist. They walk over and they're like, "Oh, you're this person," and you're like, "Uh-huh."
I don't want to mention names and embarrass them, but there's this one guy that's been around forever, and we just happened to be seated next to each other at one of these conventions a few years ago, and he kept looking at me, and I thought he was giving me a dirty look the whole time. I'm like, "What's this guy's problem?" He finally came over, and he goes, "I just want you to know that I've been a big fan of yours for years, and I'm so glad I can finally get to meet you."
Oh,
and I was judging him so bad. Saying, "Why is he giving me those looks?" And then to think that they even knew who you were, you know, like because that wasn't on these TV series or nothing, you know.
Right,
He's
but sometimes you don't have to be, Jimmy. And that just shows you, even if you weren't doing the TV series at that point in time or whatnot, it's your body of work that people find impressive. Mm-hmm. It's not the amount that you've been on television; it's what you do and how you present it.
Perfect segue. Perfect segue. I always felt people, whether believe me or not, I always felt very uncomfortable for people thinking you're somebody because you went to haunted houses with certain people. Like, why am I special? I'm not. As I said, I always wanted to do something, like produce something, so I felt proud of what I did. Because they're going to a house just because you're with certain personalities that people know, you associate like, "Oh, no, you think you're famous now?" Like, no. I felt uncomfortable with attention. That's why I started the Haunted Chronicles show in 2013. To produce something that I made that entertains people that I made myself, and when I was writing books, is that I produced something.
Right.
Produced it. I don't just walk around in a house and I'm going to be famous. Like,
right. So
now there's nothing wrong with that, but there's people that just make channels just so they can be famous.
Yeah, it's those people that I have a bad habit of calling out, especially if I know that they're doing what we do specifically for the monetary gain of it.
Yeah.
And
yes, he does call people out.
I'd have no issues doing it. There was actually a TikTok live I was watching probably about a month ago, a little bit longer than that. where these people were telling them, oh, and you can hear the noises going off on and like in the corridor. They're like, oh, we're having this activity in the corridor. If you send us X amount of gifts, we'll put a recorder over there.
Oh my God, it's
what?
brutal.
No, if the activity is happening, just put it over there anyway. Oh, if you send us X amount of likes, we'll put a camera over there. That tells me that someone's standing over there making noise.
Wow. Yeah.
As you know, as soon as they move that equipment there, the noise is going to cease.
Yeah, that's shameful. Worse than that, but I'm being nice.
Oh, no, I've actually invited them on my podcast. I'm waiting for a response because I want to ask them about this face to face. So,
yeah, and I will be there for this, so that'll be awesome, actually.
I'm just curious to hear the response. I have no disrespect to them if they're trying to make money. I have for me, it's a disrespect to the field and how they're doing it.
Yeah.
And you know what's sad? Because there's some real ones out there that they're doing work every week, doing it for their own benefit, that deserve accolades or attention that will never get it, and then you get these other ones that I feel bad for the good ones, you know.
And that's very true because, you know, and I've made it a point that, yeah, sometimes I have bigger name people come on, but I also try to find people that are not as, you know, I guess you could say pushed out in exposure. The people that actually deserve it.
That was my whole goal on the Haunted Chronicles, because when Art Bell went off air, I said, what are we going to listen to now? I said, I want to hear stories. So I like having the big names on just because people like hearing them, but you've heard their stories 100 times. Like, people hearing this, like, I already heard them tell that story. I prided myself on getting people that, even if it was somebody from the chat room or a friend of a friend, that they never told their story before, they never had the platform to tell their story, and their story would die with them if they never told it. So I'd love getting those people with new stories, you know, regular people.
Right, you know, and yes, sometimes when you're, especially if you're talking about shadow figures and whatnot, like especially shadow people, a lot of the stories are similar. You know, you got the tall shadow, sometimes it's got the top hat, sometimes it doesn't. And so a lot of the stories are extremely similar. But here's the thing is, when you have so many people that are telling stories that are so similar, you can't really discredit the plausibility of this particular entity existing.
You know, Nate,
He's got a story.
I think in this one right here, I think there's a chapter on the Hat Man.
Ah, the Hat Man is such an interesting thing, because some people claim that it's benevolent, some people claim that after they see it, their life falls apart. It's such a different opposite spectrum, based on who sees it. And
you know what else? I got a connection with people, and now one, like just the research I've done, that people have Hat Man experiences with abduction stories, with or they're connected there somehow. Who knows?
Yes, I've heard a few of those as well, where people say that they have seen a Hat Man, and then the next thing they experience time loss, which is very similar to what you would get with an abduction story.
But it's fun to speculate and talk about this like we were doing, isn't it? It's better than talking about politics or football or something, except if it's the Bengals.
Oh yeah. I'm so happy we won this week. We needed that. I mean, we're still not making the playoffs, but we won. I'll take it.
Gwen, that was our connection when we first knew each other, because he had like a Bengals cap or something on.
Yep.
And I said, being in Connecticut, I just never really cared about sports that much. But when you had to pick a team when you're a kid, I liked the Bengals, the colors and the stripes. And so I said, I'm a Bengals fan and I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan for no reason whatsoever. Thank you.
You know what?
Cool.
Here's the funny thing is, I'm a Bengals fan specifically because it bothers my parents. That's the only reason. Because
rebellion.
There that is. I don't know what to tell you.
I started rooting for them back when they were doing like 3-10, 3-12 seasons, like way back in the day when they had no chance of winning anything. That's when I became a fan of theirs.
Hey, Nate, can you show us the Icky Shuffle?
I don't do the Icky Shuffle.
I bet you did.
I don't. I also don't dance.
I've done the Icky Shuffle. So.
You know what? I'll tell you what, Jimmy. At one point in time, next time I have you on the show, I will go and watch some videos. I'll learn the Icky Shuffle and I'll do the Icky Shuffle.
I'll do it with you.
That's a promise.
That's something to tune in for right there.
That's absolutely something to turn in. But we gotta at least have like a foam football that we can spike, because you gotta be able to spike the ball.
A Nerf. We'll do a Nerf.
A Nerf ball. I'm good with that. But we gotta work. We'll definitely get that worked out for next time you come on the show. But I see we got about 4 minutes left, Jimmy. So let me ask you, where can people find your books? Where can people find you? Are you going to be any festivals this year? Like I know that last year you were at the Exeter UFO Festival. You were at Connecticut. You were kind of all over the place last year.
You know what I said? Unfortunately, I have to work, so I would like to go to all of these things. Unfortunately, I can't, especially because a lot of them are out of state, and
Yeah.
you have to get hotel rooms. If and some people provide them for you, some people don't. You gotta
Yeah,
see if it's worth it or not. But already we got August 1st, Nashua, New Hampshire.
I'll be there.
August 29th, Greater New England UFO Conference in Leominster.
Nice.
Exeter is September 5th. And the big Augusta, Maine, September 12th and 13th. And I do have some kind of part in that this year, I believe.
So we're gonna be seeing each other a lot this year, Jimmy, because I will be in Nashua. I'll be at that event. I do plan on going to the Exeter UFO Festival this year. I've missed it for the last 3 years. I want to go.
I love everybody that we go to put on amazing events. But that Exeter thing was it was just a whole different vibe and level of everybody in the whole town embraces the day. It's unbelievable.
I love that. I've loved it. I've heard about it. I've just never had a chance to go. And I will also be seeing you in Maine because I will be in Maine.
All right. We'll see you then.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna be seeing a lot of each other this year. Don't get sick of me too easily.
And we got 2 minutes. Ask me about the Mr. Haunted name because I don't want some people get mad.
Okay, well, you know what? I love this. I love this push, Jimmy. I like this. Be a little bit
We like
aggressive.
this now. That's cool.
So tell us more about the Mr. Haunted name and where that came from.
Mr. Haunted, I was on AOL when it was new. Like you could almost get John at AOL.com. And when I was trying to get a name, because everybody was on AOL at the time, I was going to put like Ghost. That was taking Ghost Man, just anything paranormal I wanted. The first one I got to was Mr. Haunted. I said, okay, that'll be my email name. I also taught a class called Ghost Hunting, and I changed it a bunch of different names with the same kind of idea at the adult education in town at the high school for over 10 years. And I handed a syllabus to all the students every semester. And my email was merely mrhaunted@aol.com. I put that, if you have any questions, message me. So that was just my email. I wasn't saying I'm Mr. Haunted. So one day, somebody rose their hand and said Mr. Haunted, and then other people noticed I liked it, so they were doing it. So that's the origin of that name. I didn't deem myself Mr. of all the haunteds in the world. It kind of happened naturally.
I assumed it did. You don't strike me as the type that would just name yourself that way. So, but no, that's actually a really, really cool story. The fact that someone else had given you the name based off of your old email. So I assume when you say this email from AOL, you had the old school dial-up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And you're lucky. For anyone old enough to experience dial-up, I'm sure as soon as I mentioned it, you heard that ear split.
I did.
Yes. I can still hear it. Yeah.
But for people saying the audacity of that guy, who they think he is, that's why.
You can't choose your own name. It was given to you. It was deemed
There
Mr.
you go.
Haunted.
It was meant to be.
I will say you were knighted Mr. Haunted.
Yeah. Oh, I got a great knighted story for you another time about an exorcism.
Oh, yes. I'd love to hear that. Absolutely.
Holy
Jimmy,
mackerels.
I typically end my podcast off with 3 standard questions that I ask every single guest. And I love this because every answer is a little bit different. So first question. You could travel to one place in the world. Cost and lodging is not an option. What haunted location are you going to and why?
It has to be haunted.
It does not, but I like to throw haunted in there.
Egypt. Final answer. For obvious reasons.
Yes.
Yes. I would like to go see King Tut's tomb, but that's just me. But it's okay. We're going to Egypt. You can bring one person with you. They could be alive or dead, and they do not have to be involved in the paranormal. Who are you bringing?
Oh, that's a great question. That's a good question. Who am I going to Egypt with? I'd have to go with what's his name? Let's say Harrison Ford guy's name.
Oh. Indiana Jones?
Yeah, we'll go with him.
I like it. So we're going to Egypt, and we're bringing Indiana Jones.
Yes.
You could only bring one piece of paranormal equipment with you just in case you decide to go on an investigation. What piece of equipment are you bringing with you and why?
I'm not big into little gadgets and stuff, so I just get a video camera so that way I can document everything with audio and video.
That counts. That
Yep.
absolutely counts. Let me tell you, Jimmy, this hour went by so quick. I looked up at the clock and I was shocked. I was like, okay, it's already been almost an hour. We got to. I'm a time Nazi. We got to start wrapping this
Yes,
up.
he is.
But Jimmy, I appreciate you coming on, talking to us for an hour. I definitely want to book you again next year at some point. Love to have you back on the show.
Thank you for having me on. And remember, we're gonna do that knighted thing next time.
Yes, I got you. So if you wouldn't mind, we got one more ad to run. Just hang out in the background for about 3 or 4 minutes. I got a few follow-up questions for you, and I'll let you get out. I'll get out of your hair.
We'll see you there.
All right, brother. I'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you so much. So that was fun.
I love him so much.
He's so full of knowledge, and people when they talk to him, you can hear it.
Yeah.
And he knows what he's talking about. He's been doing it for a very long time, and he's worked alongside some of the greatest in the field, to be honest.
And he's humble. I love it. He's humble.
He is. He doesn't want to push himself. You can go buy the book or don't. No, go buy the book. Go buy Mr. Haunted Origins. Go buy Phantom Messages. Go buy Lights Out.
I've got to read them myself. I'm way behind on everybody's books, including yours. Oh.
That's okay. You get to it when you get to it. But guys, since this was a pre-recorded show and there was no comments coming in, this show will be airing on December 24th, so Christmas Eve. So with that being said, I want to wish everybody out there a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's, whatever. I don't care what you're celebrating. Just
happy holidays.
Have fun doing it.
Go.
Have fun doing it and be safe while doing it.
Yes.
Please. But so next week, what we got coming up for you, if everything goes according to plan, we will be having author and medium Mr. Sambal Trusis on the show. So looking forward to that. It's going to be a great conversation. Typically, I would say see you next week. Same spooky time. Same spooky year. But keep an eye out for the Sambal Trusis show.
All right. That's it. Have a good night and have happy holidays, everybody.
Have a great night and happy holidays.